Ladies and gentlemen, liebe Anwesende.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure and honor to be standing here today and hold the opening speech of Cannabis Business Expo, which is the oldest hemp trade fair in Europe. It is good that despite the pandemic, we are having this event this weekend, but also in 2022 in Bern. Despite increasing digitization, trade fairs are important meeting opportunities for consumers, dealers, and producers. And the CB Expo is an ideal event also for the public. It is very multifaceted, and the hemp plant is just as multifaceted. Also, when you look at the different products and users, and the CB Expo makes this clear. I am convinced that it is not a coincidence that so many entrepreneurs worldwide focus on the hemp plant and produce many innovative products out of it. The positive effects of the plant are well known and have been known for a long time. Hundreds of years ago, in the Emmental region in the canton of Bern, hemp was planted. And now in this region, we did not only make hemp robes. And Jeremias Gotthard, a well-known author, mentioned in his society critical romance, novels, he mentioned there the well-known Sunday pipes. And this spirit continues to live. In our region with Manfred Frankhofer and Martus Lüthi, we also have pioneers in the field of medical hemp. Thanks to their continuous commitment, they have contributed to the legalization of medical hemp. And the plant itself is very interesting. However, in many countries worldwide, it is being criticized, and as a result, even legal cannabis products are shown in a wrong or negative light. And especially when it comes to smoking of a CBD joint on a garden terrace in a restaurant, you can run into trouble. And in the worst of all cases, the police could even check on you, so you quickly become a suspect, and the police needs to use valuable resources for such cannabis tests. And the industry also has to undergo lots and lots of checks by the authorities, and if they exceed the THC limits, they must pay fines. As an entrepreneur, this means that you are being driven to the boundaries of legal activity. And in the scope of a visit of a CBD indoor plantation in my region, I saw that a natural plant does not have such low THC levels. You need genetic engineering to make sure you comply with the laws. That's absurd. And these examples show that the current policy doesn't work. With over 15,000 registers violations last year, we keep the authorities busy. The ban on cannabis has existed since 1951 in Switzerland, but the number of consumers has increased steadily, and at least 1/3 of all Swiss citizens have tried out cannabis for at least one time in their lives. So this means we are a people of petty criminals. And the same holds true for the whole of Europe. This reminds us of the times of prohibition in the US. And if we don't legalize hemp, then this means we cannot successfully protect the youth, and it is for those consuming unclear what exactly is inside their products. Just imagine you order a beer but get served spirits of the same amount. The quality and quantity is what counts, and you, as innovative producers, make sure that you deliver the right quality and quantity. But we'd also need a product declaration for consumer benefit, because it would help consumers if they knew exactly what was contained in their products. The current prohibition policy in many countries is not really necessary. Also in Switzerland, we've started many trials to gradually legalize hemp again, and I can show you how this has paid off. So it means that constant dripping helps you make a hole in the rock. Persistence pays off. In 2004, 3 years after the Canatrade was founded, a motion by the Swiss Federal Council was rejected in Parliament, and this motion was about the legalization of cannabis, but this rejection kept me motivated to remain committed to this cause. And with a referendum, the Swiss population would have had the opportunity to legalize hemp a few years later. Unfortunately, in 2008, the referendum on a reasonable hemp policy with an effective youth protection measure was rejected. But you know that a lot has happened since, and the politicians have remained active. Referenda often cause things to gain traction, and after that you need to keep working on further compromises. Since 2011, it has been possible to use cannabis for medical purposes. However, the hurdles remain, and despite the increasing sales figures, it's not legal yet. Since 2013, adult consumers only get fined and no more legal proceedings are lodged. Since 2016, CBD trading has been legalized in Switzerland, and since then different legal products have made it to the market and they are being presented here. And by the way, the tax income from that for the Swiss Confederation was over 15 million Swiss francs in 2018. That was also the year when I lodged a political motion demanding the Federal Council to make medicinal cannabis and its cultivation legal. So about 1 year after legalization in Germany, that motion was a small but a further step. And by the way, 56 national councillors from the entire political spectrum co-signed this, even by my colleague Heinz Siegenthaler, who later on will be discussing with us in the panel discussion. And he, as a farmer, produces hemp himself. We are a farming country, have many major groups active in agriculture and many suppliers, and this is why we'd like to promote medicinal hemp in Switzerland. The positive effects of the hemp plant has been confirmed a lot by patients with spasms and cancer patients. And there are different applications and uses for hemp. A well-known neurologist and headache specialist has personally confirmed to me that his patients felt that the hemp products were way more effective in his patients than other drugs. And currently studies are being conducted on using cannabis against COVID-19. And back when I collected signatures in Parliament for the legalization, there was a lot of skepticism. But then even representatives of the agricultural sector saw that it made sense, so they could generate an income, a major income, by by producing hemp. And on the 25th of September last year, the Parliament approved of a change of the Narcotics Act, which now contains a new article setting the foundations for limited scientific pilot projects working with cannabis. Since the 15th of May 2021, this article is now in force for a period of 10 years, and the pilot projects should lead to another step towards legalization. When it comes to the legalization of medical hemp, the political consultation process is in course, and the Narcotics Act will soon be changed, and certain cannabis-containing drugs can then be freely used. And you, ladies and gentlemen, can also participate in the political process, can contribute to make sure that we bring this long process to a successful end. So you've seen it. Switzerland has a long tradition in hemp production, and we need to continue this. And you see the major interest of investors in many ETFs. They all bank on this trend, and Switzerland as a financial hub can play a major role here. Who knows, maybe in future a cannabis company might be listed and traded at the Swiss Stock Exchange. The CB Expo will be a means to make sure that prejudices are done away with and that the positive sides of the hemp plant are made public. The legalization steps in many US federal states also show the potential of the plant. Sales were over $17.5 billion, an increase by 56% over 2019, and tax income from hemp sales in the US were over $2.3 billion. I am convinced that with every additional US federal state driving ahead with legalization, the market will grow and exciting new opportunities will arise. Also in Switzerland, we can generate future value, tax income, and help the agricultural sector gain new perspectives apart from direct subsidies up to 10,000 Swiss francs of income per heir are possible here, and this helps the state. So these are difficult times with COVID, but we're looking into a bright future when it comes to cannabis. This is going to be a big growth market which will be booming in future if we adjust the regulatory framework respectively. And I hope that in future we will not talk about legal frameworks alone. And of course, I will continue to fight for good legal framework in Parliament, but I hope that in future we can also talk about the great and exciting products, sustainable, locally produced products, which convince with their high quality as we know it from Swiss chocolate. So this could be Swiss hemp also in future. So let us continue to the hemp plants to flower. I wish you great days here, many new findings on the occasion of this CB Expo. Thank you very much.